I have a friend called Anita, and she was at the time a scientist, and she worked in this big science laboratory. And she walked, as you do, around the corridors from time to time and between departments. And from time to time, she'd pass this woman, we'll call her Renata, would pass her by. And they'd kind of smile at each other. They didn't work together. They didn't have anything to do with each other. There was no reason to stop and have a conversation, but they just passed by each other, smiled, said good morning, and so on and so forth. And time passes, and then one day, Anita finds herself in the car park, and Renata is walking towards her at exactly the same time. The first time in all those months, all those years perhaps, that they'd actually arrived in the car park at the same time. So they begin to have a conversation, the first proper conversation they'd ever had. And Renata tells Anita that she's thinking about leaving her husband. And she tells Anita that her son is suffering from chronic asthma and chronic eczema, and it's been a tremendous drain on her and on the rest of the family. And Anita says to her, would it be all right if my house group prays for your son, and I will pray for your marriage? And then she opens the boot of her car, or the trunk of her car, but it was England, so it was a boot. And she takes out a Bible from the box of Bibles that she has in the trunk or the boot of her car, and she hands it to her friend Renata. And then they agree to have lunch together and talk again. And the son is almost entirely cured within 6 months of this chronic eczema and chronic asthma. And Renata doesn't leave her husband, but in fact begins to come to church and to become a follower of Jesus. And the thing that I learn about that story is not just that Anita was ready and available and had a Bible and had kind words and thoughtfulness, but that there was something about Anita all those months walking past one woman whose name at that point she did not know, in a corridor in a very big business, when they said hello, that meant that that woman trusted her instinctively with some of the deepest things that you can imagine somebody telling a complete stranger who they would probably see the next day. There was something godly, Christ-like, warm about her.